All right. LDBC. This is your boy, Coach Shelton Harrison. You're live on the Coach Shelton Harrison Combat Sports Show Live. The coach has had a busy night tonight. Had a very busy night. And I know people want me to live stream, so I'm thinking about it. I don't know yet, okay? But man, Heather Jo messed the name up. Heather Jo Clark versus Kinberly Nevaez. Guys, boy, you know, when you've been talking all night, man, it's really hard to get these names out now, man. All right, man, so look. This was redemption for Heather Jo Clark. You know, she's been out the game for a hot minute, man. You know, she took a few losses in the UFC. She took some ass whoopings over there, you know. And I figured, you know, her coming down to Invicta, it was a good move, man. You know, the UFC was too hot, you know. And, you know, honestly, you know, I thought Father Time creeped up on Heather Jo Clark, and I just felt like, you know what, man, maybe, you know, the sport done passed her by, you know. But then I started thinking, wait a minute, nope. There are a lot of 30-plus-year-old women in women's MMA. There are a lot of people over the age of 35 in women's MMA. So Heather Jo Clark actually is in her prime when it comes to women's MMA. You know, but all night long, have y'all been noticing that they've been putting these young 20-something-year-olds in there with people 10 years older than them? Like, you know, have y'all been noticing that? I've been noticing that. How was Invicta gonna explain this one? Like, it damnedest thing I ever seen. But let's talk about this fight. Okay, Nevaez, she came off a brutal loss, okay? She came off a brutal loss against Moradin. And, you know, I was kind of wondering, you know, how is she gonna, you know, handle this UFC veteran? Because, you know, like, Heather Jo Clark was like, what, an underdog? And I'm like, these people, whoever making these odds, they don't really know. I thought I saw on one website where people thought Heather Jo Clark would lose this fight. I'm like, well, I don't know what they talking about, man. Because Heather Jo Clark is an experienced veteran, you know? She's an experienced veteran, and she's seen some of the top people in the business. She's seen some of the top strikers in the game. So I'm like, you know, I don't think Heather Jo Clark. I thought Heather Jo Clark would win this fight, and I actually knew that she would win because there's certain veteran moves, man. Oh, I let the cat out the bag. Yeah, Heather Jo Clark won this fight, man. And you know, you had Nevaez. She was acting like she won the fight. I'm like, girl, you didn't win this fight. Look. Heather Jo Clark controlled you on the feet. Heather Jo Clark controlled you most of the time on the ground. Heather Jo Clark, you know, tried more submission attempts than you did. I mean, really, it was Heather Jo Clark, to me, that dominated this fight. I thought so. But Nevaez, I don't know. She didn't think she dominated. You know, she thought she won. So I'm like, well, and I guess everybody can dream and make believe on a wish. I guess we can. And I guess Nevaez, you know, she wished upon a star. How, I wonder, how far? But you didn't win this fight. Heather Jo Clark won the striking battle. Now, Heather, you can tell, man, she done lost a step. She not as explosive as I'm remember her being. She not that explosive. Nevaez just got, it's a technical problem, man. Like, Nevaez, she couldn't technically deal with Heather Jo Clark. Like, you would think, man, I was almost thinking, man, dang, man, Heather Jo Clark can knock this girl out. Like, Nevaez, I noticed, man, she cannot deal with feints and level change. She can't, man. Heather Jo Clark was changing levels on that. Sorry, PG-13 channel. She was changing levels on her, man. I'm talking about fainting. Look, man, Nevaez was freezing every time Heather Jo Clark threw a feint or a level change. This girl froze, man. And then Heather Jo Clark was able to get her offense off. Yo, you can't do that against no veteran, even an old veteran. They gonna take advantage. Even on the cage, man. You know, she was trying to get a takedown on Heather Jo Clark. Man, Heather Jo Clark was doing them little veteran tricks, man. She was slipping little pot shots in the stomach, man. Okay, then, you know, she kept putting her hand around her neck, man. Like, you know, smothering her, cutting off the air circulation to Kinberly Nevaez. I was like, yo, like, Heather Jo Clark is putting that veteran. She putting that on her. You know, and everybody say, well, Kinberly's 9-4. But, yeah, but see, it's the caliber, man. I always tell people that Invicta and the UFC, man, it's two different things, man. It's just two different things, okay? I mean, you're not going to come, you know, from Invicta and just dominate a UFC vet that's been there for a while. It's not going to happen. It's levels to this, man. And, you know, Heather Jo Clark brought all that experience from all them ass whoopings that she took. And she was like, oh, I ain't finna let this girl beat me. And she didn't. Okay, it was to me, it was a unanimous decision for Heather Jo Clark. That's it. I'm done. I mean, you can look at the photographs. Heather Jo Clark dominated this fight. And that, well, that's just the way that is. This is your boy, Coach Shelton Harrison. I'm done. What are you waiting on? Subscribe to the best women's MMA platform on YouTube.